Okay, so I made a video concept about the implication of Trump's suspension on foreign aid, particularly the HIV program, and so what's the next step? However, before I start, I talk on the next step. I'd like to give a brief background story of what's happening. So, while on access program, but before the access program, we are on 4 gates. So the 4 gates is more like trying to identify the new infections in Nigeria. So currently, the program, which is the access program, is mainly or based on sustainability. So we are gradually trying to hand over to the government. So currently, the access program is all about, this is CDC, this is IPs, implementing partners, and this is the Nigerian government. So what the access program was supposed to do was to bring up the Nigerian government to be at the forefront of managing these patients. So, and this was supposed to happen by 2027. So what happened now is that the new government came in, US government came in and decided to suspend all foreign aids. So what is the next step? Before I say the next step, I would like to highlight the gaps inside the program. So apart from the commodity gaps, which I mentioned in my video, which I would love you to listen, to go and watch and find out and understand the issues with those commodities, gap in commodities. There are also other things in the program that needs to change, that needs to be identified. Some gaps that needs to be identified. Number one, these patients are monitored, they are followed up, and this program is a program that is very, very sensitive, knowing fully well that these patients, in short, let me just use in a layman's language, these patients are pampered. So the thing is that the patients now, they need to own up to their responsibility. No longer will people call them and tell them, you have a next appointment. We know our government. So if our government wants to close this gap, we need to change. There are civil servants in the government hospitals. They need to change their attitude to work. They need to be there. They need to work really from that gap of commodity scarcity, AF scarcity. We also have to talk about testing kits, because we need to identify new patients. Because we mentioned that transmission rate will be high if care is not taken. We also need to identify those patients that are new infections. So, and we need to also follow up with these patients, because this is a drug you take for life, and most patients need reminders. I was saying these patients, they need to be followed up. So the government now, not just the government, the government workers, every person that finds him or herself in the government facility should sit up. Should really sit up. Their attitude to work really needs to change. Their behavior towards these patients, they need to change and all that. So I'm not implying anything. I'm just saying from my own perspective that the government also needs to I don't know whether they call supplementary budget, Abby. We also need to make budget for these things, because we need to move those commodities from the warehouse to the facilities. And we also, apart from that, documentation gap. We need to be able to account for every single drug given out, because the account you give, if it is the consumption account you give, is what will help in your resupply. This based on the supply chain management. So we need to be able to account for everything, every test kit given, every drug given out, so that you can get the right estimates for your next resupply. So I don't know how we're going to do this, based on we already know our country and how we mismanage things. But hopefully we believe that the government officials will sit up and do the needful at this time. See you later. So please just go back to my video, watch, comment and share. Bye.